Okay, so boom. So it's three main questions that everybody and their mama want to know now that Big T has been convicted of 34 felony counts of falsifying business records. So 1, is Big T going to jail? 2, if Big T is a felon, is he still eligible to be president? And 3, now that Big T got 34 felonies, is he still eligible to vote? So number 1, is Big T going to prison? It depends. Big T was just recently convicted of 34 counts of falsifying business records. In New York, that is a Class E felony. A Class E felony is the lowest level felony you could get anywhere, okay? So Class E felonies include things like 4th degree grand larceny, right? Which means you stole something worth more than $1,000. Criminal possession of a controlled substance, and 3rd degree assault, which is like a bar fight. So because typically a Class E felony is a non-violent crime, the punishments range in that. So worst case scenario, yeah, Big T could go to prison, right? Each one of his felonies are eligible for up to 4 years in prison. Now the thing is, because a Class E felony is a low level felony, he don't necessarily gotta go to jail or prison, right? So the options or the punishments for a Class E felony do include jail time, don't get it twisted, but you also could get probation, or you could be sentenced to something called intermittent sentence, which basically means like you go to jail some days and then they let you out the jail so you can go to work and go to school and do stuff like that you need to do. Or you could get like community service or something like that. So it's all going to depend on what the judge decides. Now, realistically, it is very unlikely that Big T is going to spend some time in prison, right? Reason being because if we are treating defendant Big T as we would treat any other criminal defendant with a Class E felony in New York, the reality is that in this case, Big T is a first-time offender and this is a non-violent crime. So now this lawyer did some research and some analysis on Class E felonies in New York and looked at the sentencing structures. And what he found was that of the Class E felonies in New York, post-conviction or after these people were convicted, only 10% of them people went to prison. Only 10% of them got jail time. 90% of them cases didn't get no jail time. Now, I'm not sure what the statistics are in terms of what these people were charged with, whether they were first-time offenders or not, or if they had re-offended or offended again at some point. We also don't know like the racial demographic. We don't know the gender demographics, right? But to say that only 10% of them go to prison, and we are talking about a former president and what would be required to put a former president in prison, it is very unlikely. Very, not impossible, but very unlikely Big T can go to jail. Now, question number 2, can Big T still be president now that he is a felon? Yes, Big T can still be president. The Constitution only lays out 3 requirements for someone to become president of the United States of America. The first one is you have to be at least 35 years old. The second one is you need to have been born here in the US. And the third one is you have had to have been a resident of the US for 14 years. So essentially, there is nothing stopping us as American voters from deciding, you know what, okay, yeah, old boy got felonies, but I still think he could do his job. So I'm here for it, I'm voting for it. The founding fathers, the people who wrote the Constitution, they left that up to us as voters, right? On the one hand, you look at it like, okay, so if you didn't cause some felonies, once you are a felon or you're in prison or whatever the case may be, you're really not a citizen. The Constitution said, we taking your rights, honey. You're not like us. You ain't like us. You ain't like us, right? You different. You got felonies. So there's some limitations on what you can do and how you can move and what decisions we think is cool for you to make post that. But if you ain't got no felonies and you decide you want to vote for somebody with some felonies, the founding fathers said, leave that up to the voters. Let them decide. Let them do what they want to do. So at the end of the day, the fact that he has felonies does not disqualify him from being president. But I know a lot of people been feeling some type of way because they're like, hold up. Oh boy, got felonies. Can he vote? So now the question is, now that Big T is a felon, 34 felonies, honey, can he still vote? It depends. And really, it depends on the sentence. So in November of 2018, the voters of Florida voted to restore the rights of most felons. So if you have been convicted of a homicide or SA, you wasn't on that list. But there were some additional requirements. The person had to have completed their sentence, which included probation and parole, and they had to have paid all their fines, fees, restitution, all of that. So I don't know if y'all remember, but this had become an issue after the 2020 election because there were some felons who were under the impression that they were eligible to vote and had their rights restored, but come to find out it was some secret fees somewhere that they had paid, and Governor DeJorno sent his people to go pick them up, and so they had all an issue. Now, backstory on that. What a lot of people don't know is that, so in 2019, Governor DeJorno actually flipped the script on that and he signed into law Senate Bill 7066. So this changed the game a little bit because now the requirement was not just you had to do your time, pay little fees with the whoop. It actually required all former felons to pay all their court fees and restitution and all that kind of stuff before they even registered to vote. So what this did was make 775,000 felons ineligible to vote after that. So with that being said, it's gonna depend on the sentence that the judge gives Big T, whatever fines, fees, woo he get. Mind you, he owe everybody and their mama some money right now. Eugene Curl, New York, Tish, all of them businesses and got shut down. He got a lot going on. And his donors allegedly have contributed 35 point some million just after the verdict, allegedly. I don't really know the facts on that, but that's what they out here talking about. So he may or may not be able to pay them fines off quick, but if he gets something like probation, you feel me, or a house arrest or something like that, and it's for a couple years, which he's eligible for, he may not be eligible to vote in November, unless, only thing I can think of is maybe Governor DeJorno coming up with some slick way to like slide him through the back door, but if he do that, then I don't want to hear nothing else about, oh, my one vote don't matter, because if they do a backdoor slide woo to make this one vote count and matter, even if he ain't supposed to, well then, y'all got your answer. Have the day y'all deserve. Peace.